Hello everyone, welcome to episode 50 live with Sirus Migration. It's a happy, good milestones for Sirus Migration going live for the 50th time. Welcome to our session today, and this is also the last episode of our weekly episodes coming from February. We're going to have a live session on first Thursday of every month, and then we'll be that allows us to give you more information subject wise, and the short videos on what's out there, what's new. But every time when we get a brand new visa change or a news comes through, we'll be live in no time, and we will be updating all our viewers and clients. So that brings me back down to, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please ensure that you hit that subscribe button or the bell button and subscribe to our channel, so you'll be notified each time when we release one of these videos. And every month on first Thursday of the month at 3 p.m. we'll be still continuing to give you a live session. So anything that you couldn't clarify, you can use this time to learn more about or clarify the information, or talk to us live and get further information about certain topic. Having said that, so today's the last Thursday of January 2022. So we will hopefully see you on next week again on Thursday, because that's the first Thursday with the 51st episode Sirus live with Sirus. So we'll do the same thing after that every first Thursday, and in between we will be releasing lots of informative videos to you, so you can ask us more questions and get to know what's happening. There's going to be lots of new visa changes and visa news about to be released, and we have come past halfway mark of the financial year as well. So clients who have applied for expression of interest, some of them already got granted. I've got a really good visa grant yesterday, not a visa grant actually, an invitation came through yesterday for an accountant, 105 points from Brisbane, Queensland. So Queensland Migration extended the invitation, not yesterday, Tuesday. So just before the Australia Day. Oh, people who have not yet seen the post and etc., if you missed the Australia Day, happy Australia Day to everyone. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. So today we're going to talk about travel exemption topic. I think it is equally important as much as we talk about this other visa categories, and we are expecting to build up a lot of information and news to bring a lot of new visa changes to you in near future. So right now what is very important is to concentrate what's your entrance and exit policies to Australia. So Australia was closed for a long time, since I think early mid-March of 2020 all the way to now, like 15th of December last year, and then now the borders are open, but all borders are open to certain travelers. So today's topic, we're going to discuss who's allowed to come into Australia, who's not, and if you're not, what other pathways do you have? Is there a travel exemption that you can apply, or if you're an allowed category, if you're in the allowed category, is there any other way you can how do you do it? So if you're in a eligible category, what do you do to travel into Australia? So we're going to discuss all that, and we'll talk about who can travel to Australia, what do you need to have before traveling to Australia. We'll talk about proof of vaccinations and what sort of vaccinations are available for you, and touch base with you about the travel declarations, and then we'll go and answer your questions. It is very important. If you have any questions related to Australian immigration or migration related questions, within the capacities, I would like to give as much information as possible. If not, I will invite you to talk to me directly, one-on-one in an appointment, and then we'll go through your scenario, go through your profile background, and see if we can help you. So let's talk about who can travel to Australia. The first category comes up when you're talking about traveling to Australia. The immediate family members of Australian citizens, permanent residents, or eligible New Zealand citizens who's usually residing in Australia, their immediate family members can travel to Australia. So who are your immediate family members? Your spouse or your de facto partner, your dependent children. So mostly dependent children are children under 18, but if they're still depending on you, they're not independent. Towards up till 23, unless they have a disability and they're still your dependent children, about 23 also can consider coming to see you or travel to Australia to be with you. Also, the parents of an adult Australian citizen or permanent residents, or parents of adult New Zealand citizens who usually resides in Australia, can travel to Australia with an automatic travel exemption. So that way you don't have to apply for a travel exemption. So what's important when you talk about relationships, you need to prove how they relates to you. So we got few information this way on the screen, so you can see clearly what evidence do you need to do. So you pretty much needs to provide a passport or even a birth certificate or marriage certificate to show that the name listed in the birth certificate as the parent is the same name appears as the travel applicant's passport, to prove that they're closely related to an Australian citizen or permanent resident. If you have any clarifications on this, feel free to talk to us. I'm not going to read line by line, but I think you get the point out of this. So next category, if you're an Australian citizen, permanent resident, or qualified visa holder traveling to Australia, to and from Australia is allowed without a travel exemption. So we can travel freely by obeying the guidelines, which I will come to it very soon. So there are about 43 subclasses who are exempted to travel. If I go in summary, student visa holders can travel. Business visa holders could travel all the way even during the pandemic time with the restrictions with the travel exemption. Skilled visa applicants. So if you got an approval of a 189 or a 190 or 186 visa, you're no longer a temporary traveler, you're an Australian citizen or permanent resident, which you go back to the topic anyway, so you don't need to even consider this. But if you're a student, international student who's traveling in, or if you're a current 485 holder, or if you're in most of the work categories, from 482 visa, 494 visa, 400 series, most of those visas, 400, 407, 408, 403, all these visa categories can travel into Australia. There are some humanitarian visa categories who's allowed. I mean, the list was too long, so the guys couldn't put it in the our marketing team couldn't fit it in the slide. But what we did in this regard is when we finish this video, on the title description, if you scroll down below, on the title description we have provided lots of links that without you wasting your time going here and there, we have given the official links to the exact web pages with the URLs, so you can click on it and you'll see the full list of exempted subclasses. So also people who are transiting Australia, who are willing to stay no longer than 72 hours in Australia, does not need a travel exemption. You can just come travel pass. So come by and travel. So that's one thing. One other also a category of travelers who can travel to Australia without needing to have a travel exemption is certain citizens of certain countries who are fully vaccinated. So Singaporean citizens who's traveling to Australia, who also have the evidence of full vaccination, can travel in and out to Australia without a problem or without needing a travel exemption. Same for Japanese citizens who are traveling in and out to Australia, is allowed for Japanese who has got the full vaccination. South Koreans who's traveling to Australia, you also, as long as you're fully vaccinated, you can travel in and out. As I talked earlier, we can the New Zealanders in special category visas can travel in and out as well. But I would like to again put a bit of a pinpoint here. When you travel to Australia for these visa categories, you're only allowed to travel into Australia into participating states. So Australia's got a strong separation between federal governance and the state governance. So federal government has approved for those people to travel into Australia, but certain states still don't accept travelers from overseas. I mean, rather than saying which states are allowed, it'll be easier for me to tell you which states not allowing you at the moment. So all the states so far, including Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, Northern Territory, ACT, they all participate in, and South Australia participate in this exercise, except Western Australia. Western Australia is soon to be on board, but they have not announced a date yet. So there's no official dates. There are bloggers and information allowed out there explaining that 5th of February might be the date, or somewhere around the first week, end of first week is the date that Western Australia is opening the gates for travelers, but at the moment they're not. So even international students, they're a bit stuck who has applied for Western Australia. But stay tuned. I mean, we waited a few years and months and months. So compared to that, a couple of weeks is not a long to go. Maybe stay tight on that couple of weeks. And I think what's also important to know is the other category of the people who's traveling in. People who are escorting Australian citizens or residents, minors. So parents are Australian, maybe the kids are Australian too. They under 18 or underage, and they're getting escorted by another traveller. So that traveller is exempted to travel to Australia as long as you're fully vaccinated and follow the guidelines through. Temporary visa holders, as I explained, we will be putting the visa subclasses who are allowed in there. I would like to clarify one other thing. When you talk about Australian immediate families and temporary visa holders, etc., this is only for Australian citizens' immediate families, not for temporary visa holders who currently live in Australia, such as if you're in for a 2 visa or a international student visa, your parents or your closer families are not yet allowed to travel to Australia unless you got approved through a travel exemption. So these things will be reattested or reassessed very soon. So we will get to know the latest results soon. So we also put together a bit of information to people who's looking to travel to Australia. What needs to be prepared before you can travel. If you got your visas sorted, then certain countries, like when you talk about Singapore, South Korea, Japan, they have e-visa arrangement with Australia, so you might not even need to get a prior visa. But if you were to apply for a visa, have the visas sorted out, and then especially if you're a parent of an Australian citizen or a permanent resident, you might need to apply for subclass 600 or in the relevant visa, and then you can travel. One other thing also, if you're expecting to travel to Australia for visiting purposes, I'm talking about visitor visas and tourist visa right now, subclass 600 related visas. This is not exempted by travel exempted list of subclasses, so you need to apply for a travel exemption unless it's an urgent or a priority business matter or a medical matter. Right now, Australia is not considering these exemption applications. So you need to have proof of vaccination. Vaccination is very important, and if you go back to that slide again, you need to have the travel declaration. So you need to also do a pre-departure COVID-19 test within 24 hours. And additional requirements if are not vaccinated or do not hold an eligible visa. So if you're an old parent or if you have medical condition that you cannot have a vaccination, you can still be considered to travel, but you need to provide the relevant information. You have an allergy or you have a proper reason why you cannot be vaccinated. So one other thing as well, we've been talking about this earlier, it is vitally important that you check what's going to be the state that you're entering, and what are the protocols of that state at that point, because state requirements change quite dynamically at the moment. So it is very important that you understand what is the state's requirements at that time. So we have again put a lot of links for you to follow. So check the video down below. You'll see most of those information. Proof of vaccination, you'll have to show it to the airline staff as well, and at the entrance. So have it all ready. You can have a phone vaccination, digital certificate in your phone as well, which is good. I would highly recommend you to have a copy of your PDF copy of your vaccination, just in case during the travel if the phone died and stuff like that. You don't want to spend too much time in the border clearance areas. You can quickly show it and get it verified and keep going. And also you'll get to see the allowed vaccinations very soon. Next slide, I think. So these are the TGA approved vaccinations. We get a lot of questions asked what vaccinations are accepted through Australia. So it's not Pfizer and Moderna anymore, or AstraZeneca. You got a whole heap of other vaccinations listed here. So if you have any of these vaccinations, if you've been vaccinated by any of these vaccinations, you'll be accepted, and you just need to show your travel certificate or the vaccination certificate. Bit of information about travel declaration. Have a read through. They'll be asking a lot of questions about your household and also your traveling history, etc. Be truthful. What is equally important and what is really required for you to understand is when you fill in these applications, to take any shortcuts, please do not put any false information, because if you put false information, that allows you to that allows the government or the Department of Home Affairs to cancel your visa even while you're in Australia. We had some significant examples that you got to learn if you keep following the Australian news. So we saw one of the world's #1 tennis players got the visa cancellations, and look, the visa cancellation is not a nice area to go, and silly mistakes can lead you to that position. And with visa cancellations, also onshore visa cancellations especially, gives you section 48 bar 4020, which things that you really don't want to hear and to know about with your background, because when you get these conditions, that's really giving you a hard time in your travel history. Especially there are certain times and areas where you can be barred to travel to Australia or apply for another visa for at least 3 years or 10 years, depending on the type of mistake you have displayed. So if you have if you have submitted something you accidentally put there, and if you get to know about it, the best thing you can do is just update your information to immigration system, so that way you're not considered as a provider of false information. But if the department finds out and then come back to you, then it can be a bit too late, and that can cause you a lot of tension, unnecessary tension throughout your travel program. You come to Australia to do your business or visit your families or study further or work or some critical travel program, and you don't want to go through this unnecessary visa hassles while you're here. So make sure you fill all these applications truthfully, and all the information given are true and correct. And so this is this link, I haven't even seen it just until now, because we have also prepared a link for RAT tests which are acceptable from Australian government as well, when you travel. So make sure if you're doing a rapid antigen test, you buy one of these approved categories. So all these information are again summarized and linked into the appropriate original source of information, official source of information. So you can go back into the description and click that live link, and you can always go and get further information. I think if you're traveling, it is really, really important you make sure you tick all the boxes that takes out all the hassles and stress that may cause while you travel. So that's all about travel exemptions that we prepared for you, and we're about to go into some of the other stuff. Before we go into, let's go and answer some of your questions throughout Facebook and YouTube. Also, as I always say, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit that subscribe button now, or click the bell icon so you'll be notified each time when we put out a visa information session or information guideline through a video or a live session. So you'll be notified and informed about all this latest information. I would also like to, before I get into the questions and answers, would like to remind to let people know I've seen a really good job that Department of Home Affairs doing at the moment, processing student visas. Student visas we getting to see for genuine international students who expecting to travel to Australia. Their visas getting processed very, very quickly. I'm still seeing applications getting finalized for the first semester of 2020-22, which is a great job that case officers do for students. These students been studying in online mediums, and also who are keen to come and study in the campus for a long time now. So they're giving their best opportunity for these students to come and start their semester. So for whoever's traveling to Australia, like we've been having lots of visa grants for international students last few weeks. So if you haven't put your application through, if you require any support with your application, please be in touch. We have offices in most of the major cities in Australia, as well as Sri Lanka, India, Nepal. So and our Italy office is not too live as yet, but we are working from home, expecting to be back to the office very soon in Italy as well. I'm keen to travel myself to see you guys and and help you out there. So hopefully before I go to Milan, I think next week I'm scheduled to be in our Melbourne office. Talking about Melbourne office, we had some great success stories this week. We had many clients came and visited us, and one of our senior education consultants, 𝗪𝗍𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗧 was there this week, and we had good support, and the Melbourne-based staff also had many consultations for clients, and was able to help many clients this week. So a lot of we were able to extend our support for a lot of students in Melbourne this week. We are in our head office in Melbourne is in Hawthorn, right next to Swinburne University. So I think what's the number? I can't remember. It's Burwood Highway, Hawthorn, right next to Swinburne University. I think you can't miss it. I've got it somewhere here. Yeah. So 529 Burwood Road, Hawthorn, and phone number is 03-8609-9711. Or if you like to SMS or WhatsApp, we've got 0466 083 344. I'll be in Melbourne next week, so if there's anything that you'd like to discuss in person, I'm more than happy for you to come and talk to me, or make a Zoom consultation with me. I'm not sure how my schedules have been placed. If they say it's full, if it's a quick one, I'm still happy to take up a call here and there, or we can always do a Zoom meeting. And if it's urgent matter that your visa is expiring soon or something like that, please do let our staff know. We will try to accommodate you as much as we can. So We had a great success with a couple of GTI approvals again. So Global Talent Independent. So that's another great success last week. Global Talent's been a bit slow in processing with the expression of interest, but I think it's slow but not dead. So GTI provides a great pathway for many clients who's got global recognitions in any of these 10 target sectors, with the high income being above 158,500 or more. And if you have global recognition, you have global awards, and if you've conducted multinational, multicultural, multi-discipline businesses, then you might be eligible. So if you like to learn more, be in touch. That's a straight permanent residency for you and your family. Global Talent's given us many opportunities. I have received a couple of 188A invitations this week, which are my favorites, and I'm very excited to be in support to my 188 clients, because they go through a very exciting venture. They come and use their business skills to open up economic ventures in Australia, opening up job opportunities to locals, and also seeing their success. And some people with business visas, I get to see they're very successful being in one location, and when they come and open up their exposure to Western and also develop economy like in Australia, they see lots of advantages, and they see a lot of easiness in their path as well. I'm yet to discover a lot of success stories through 188 clients. I'm so proud to see them doing very well within their capacities with 188 A, B, C visas, and E as well, actually. So let's take some questions. I've got I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing your name not right here. 𝗪𝗘𝗘𝗞𝗟𝗬 from Facebook. Thanks for the live update. What are the chances of New South Wales 190 Health and Welfare Services Manager 134 70 plus 5 points? Also, last program you mentioned that offshore candidates can come to Australia for studies to increase points. Will there be any issue having active EOI? Very good question. I think it's a really good question. You're in good sector, Ms. Duat, health and welfare, but unfortunately I'm not sure whether 70 plus 5 would be a great competitive point for you. I'm pretty sure you have more than 3 years of experience to apply for New South Wales, but having an EOI is not a negative or an adverse information for your 190 application, your student application. You just have to demonstrate or explain why you want to come for a student visa. When you come into an Australian student visa, it is not the prime purpose should not be going into increase your points for 190 application, but coming into Australia in a student visa should be your prime purpose should be to upskill yourself. So that what I said was correct in that regard. So if you were to study master's degree, for an example, if you only have a bachelor's degree, if you studied that in a regional area for 2 years, you get extra 10 points. for studying in Australia 5 points for 2 years, and regional area extra 5 points. So that 10 points can make you to 85 points. And also now you're unsure, you might be able to do some work experience or some work, contribute to back it to the community. That can also either enhance your points or give you job opportunities as well. And also I've seen students with bachelor's degree come to study, and also who's got experience comes to study. While they're studying, they get to work in Australia, and also that allows them to not only general skill migration but also to employee pathway. Please don't take it the wrong way. I'm not influencing anyone to come and study to circumvent the pathway. I'm just trying to explaining so you can come and study, and that way you can increase your opportunities, not only staying back in Australia, but also internationally or going back home. You can increase your opportunities of getting job opportunities and upskill yourself. And if you have interest to Australia, why not upskill yourself in Australia than going into some other countries or doing it yourself in your home country. So thank you for the question. It was a wonderful question that you put through. I've got some questions in YouTube. I'll try to answer as many as possible given the time that I've got left for today. I've got a couple of appointments coming up very soon too. So Devin's got a question. Hi, good morning, Devin. Then Avi Bandal, when tourist visa will be open for temporary residents, family members? Look, Lavi, temporary visas are 600 series are available if you have a travel exemption. Some people try to apply for visitor visa and wait. That I don't recommend that. So if you have a good reason, you can apply for a travel exemption. But if it's a general travel that you're expecting to come for, I think give it couple of weeks, couple of months, because what from the information from our Honourable Prime Minister as well as state premiers, what we're hearing is when Australia hit and also the individual states hit 90% of vaccinations, they're going to open it up as per normal. So I'm expecting the 90% is not far away. I mean, I know for a fact Queensland's very close to 90%. So other states are going to be very much the same. So state tight, I don't think it'll take long. It'll be a matter of few weeks or a month or two. SJ, I hope you're doing well. We are doing extremely well and busy. SJ, thanks for asking, and hope you're doing well as well, wherever you're contacting us from. I have applied for offshore 491 for NT since March 2020 and still waiting for a grant of visa. So you have got the invitation and you're now waiting for the 491. There are quite a few applicants staying in the same situation, SJ, and also you got another question. My IMI account status shows as further assessment. Any thoughts on this? Waiting for reply. Thank you. So SJ, I think it will be picked up very soon. With the travel restrictions they gave prior to other visas, and that might have been one of the reasons. I've seen the same scenario for some 190 applicants as well. They're not been neglected, it's just they've been less prioritized. So you will hopefully hear soon, and if not, I would say give it a little more time and then start maybe send a further progress request to the case officer. Rohit Sharma, so I'm 482. I'm on a 482 when I'm applying for 186 direct entry stream. I was work as a chef in restaurant last 2 months. Is that all from Rohit? Yeah. So Rohit, I gather what you. I think I'm not sure totally clear about the question, but if you're in 482 visa right now, 482 is a temporary work visa, but you're working as a chef, which means that you are in medium to long term stream, which allows you to apply for 186 visa anytime if you have the required information. So because you're in 482, you do not necessarily have to go through the 4 TRT category. So 186 has 2 streams. One is 186 direct entry, the other one is 186 temporary transition category. So if you're going through TRT, you have to work under a 482 for 3 years, which doesn't require you to have a skills assessment. But if you're going through 186 direct entry, if you have already worked 3 years after qualification and you have a skills assessment, IELTS 6 in each band, you don't have to necessarily have to wait till 3 years in 3 years to apply for this. You can apply for it anytime, any point of time. So if that's the question you're asking, I hope I answered okay for you. So Dreamwin, TOEFL accepted in Australia universities after MBA and 4 years experience as a coordinator from India. Some universities do accept. So in Australia, PTE and IELTS and ISLPR are the most common examinations accepted, but certain universities they still accept TOEFL as well. So if you need a specific guideline on which university and which program, happy to talk to you in person, or I can guide you to our education team that they can help you personally. Sky is Australia allowing employers to apply for new work visas from offshore? Yes, currently a lot of work visas been allowed. 482, 494, 407, 408, 400. So a lot of Sky. Long story short, answer is yes. Ashan Madhusankar, good day to you too. Any updates about offshore migrants? Seems still processing is too slow, even though New South Wales is open. So it depends on which category, Ashan. If you if you're referring to 189, 190 categories, 190's got very less priority to offshore applicants in many states. But if you have received an invitation already and applied for the visa, depending on your background and also your skill category, you'll be notified soon. If you applied, then you'll get the response very soon. Tisara 491 skilled visa question: does the family need to be there for the duration for the applying for the PR? Thank you. So 491, I'm not sure you're asking about 491 family sponsored or 491 regional one, and if you're considering the family as the visa applicant's family or the sponsored family. So I'll assume that you're talking about 491 regional, and if you're talking about 491 regional, yes, your family needs to be in the regional area during the duration until you apply for your 191 visa. It is a major part of 491 because 491 visa's intention is to have your usual resident as in that regional area for you to work, study, etc. in that region area. So, Rohit, you're welcome. And I need 6 months pay slips to apply for 186 direct entry stream. So Rohit, you need to have actually 3 years. And so 186 direct entry program requires to have, after qualification, 3 years work experience. So you can show 6 months work experience, but depending on how satisfied the visa officer is, they may ask you proof of evidence that you worked for other 2.5 years as well. But if you're counting your if you're asking about your current employment, you don't necessarily have to show how many months. But if you're using it, yes, then you have to pay. You have 8 years work experience. So whatever the 3 years you can show out of those 8 years would be great. Rohit, I'm not sure the other advice, but must have had a reason. I haven't seen the your full file, but I always tell my clients, have all the evidence ready when you apply for 186 direct entry. 186, especially chef currently is in priority migration skill occupation list. If you apply for a decision ready visa application, your application should process within 2 to 3 months if everything goes well. So I would like my clients to have quicker decisions than delayed decisions. So I would say, if you can get everything gathered together, so we present a beautiful completed application to the case officer, then there won't be any delays for you. I hope that clarified your question. Visa fees can be refunded in under different reasons, Mohammed. So if you require the visa fees to be refunded, then you need to refer to what category. You can do it through the IMI account as well. So I don't know which visa you applied, etc., but you can do it through the IMI account. Sorry, Jimmy, for some reason I didn't see. I just went past your question. I think you're doing the same. Okay. Waiting for Queensland invitation at 80 points in software engineering. My 485 visa expire in March. What are the chances for invitations, and which visa is good after 485 expires? 408 or 482 short term? Look, Jimmy, the best option for this is, if you like, I'm actually back to back after this session today. So tomorrow or Monday, if you could give me a call, I will waive off your initial consultation fees. I would like to see your background. I wouldn't say 408 just because 408. If you have a 482 pathway, then that might be another good option as well. Did you apply for also 491 or 190? That's also important. Maybe give us a call. I'll do a free assessment for you, and then we'll see how we can help you, and I'll give you a specialized independent advice. Are you applied for 190? So 190 at 80 points, you might have to you might not get finalized before March. I'm not sure. You never know. But let's have a chat and then see how we can help you to get this sorted. Ashan Madhushankar, any updates about Queensland PR for offshore applicants? Ashan, I think you'll have to wait till next financial year, which is 1st of July 2022. They may consider options for offshore clients because states opening soon. States are opening for international travelers soon when the 90% hits there. I think Jimit, you got the same question again. So yeah. So I'll wrap it up for the day, and it was really nice talking to you all today again with our 50th anniversary live session. So I'm so happy that we hit 50th in a row. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us. If there's any questions, as always, please give us a call or a message. Then we will try to set up an appointment with you as soon as possible. And as I'm telling you always, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit it now, and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified each time when we release one of these videos. So hoping to see you again next Thursday at 3 o'clock. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, and have a really nice weekend coming up very soon. And God bless you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.